about the cementum. What is the cementum? Cementum covers the surface of our teeth in the inner side. The outer side of dentin in the root part and also in the cervical part of teeth covered with cementum. Cementum have different thicknesses in different sides of the cementum. Sometimes you can see thinner cementum or thicker cementum. In cementum, we have different terms. In the beginning, you may confuse in this part. What is these names and what is these types of the cementum? But in simple sentences, we have a type of cementum known as the intermediate cementum. Intermediate cementum. This intermediate cementum is our primary cementum also. Intermediate cementum or primary cementum. What is the intermediate cementum? Intermediate cementum is our cementum which produces with the Hertwig membrane. Remember the Hertwig membrane? Remember the epithelial diagram? The cementum which produces with that cells is our intermediate cementum. During the normal cementum structure form, the cementoblast which derived from the dental follicle migrate to the intermediate cementum area and start to produce and mineralize this intermediate cementum again. And the name of intermediate cementum changed into the primary cementum. And this cementum a little thicker than the beginning intermediate cementum. What is the properties of this cementum? This cementum have harder structure than normal cementum. In this cementum, you can see special cells of cement. What is the name of special cells of cement? Is cementocytes. Remember the bone structure? In bone structure we have the osteoblast and osteoblast and osteocytes. In cement structure we have cementoblast and cementocytes. Synonym with the osteoblast and osteocyte. Now, returning to our intermediate or primary cementum. In the structure of intermediate or primary cementum, we don't have cells. We have only cement structure, without cell. This type of cementum, also known as the acellular cementum. So, we have the terms of intermediate cementum, primary cementum, and acellular cementum. All of these things is same. Okay? The cementum which generally produce with cementoblast which come from the dental follicle produce generally the secondary cementum. The secondary cementum in most sites cover the intermediate or primary cementum from outer side. And the thicknesses of secondary cementum low in the cervical side, and when we go from cervical side into the apical side of the teeth, these thicknesses is increased. In the structure of secondary cementum, we have cementoblast and cementocytes. Because of this cementocyte, this type of cementum, also known as the cellular cementum, because we have cells in this structure. Okay? Now, you know we have acellular and cellular cementum, primary and secondary cementum, and intermediate cementum, synonym with the primary or acellular cementum. Okay? We have another term related with fibers of cementum. Sometimes you can hear the intrinsic fibers, and sometimes you can hear the extrinsic fibers. What is the differences between the intrinsic and extrinsic fibers? And what is the differences between the intrinsic and extrinsic fibers? The intrinsic fibers produce with cementoblasts. Intrinsic fibers produced with cementoblasts and present in the normal structure of cementum, generally secondary cementum. Remember the structure of bone. Like bone, here we have extracellular matrix with inorganic and organic materials. The organic material of cementum generally formed from the type 1 collagen, and this type 1 collagen mineralized by hydroxyapatite crystals. This collagen and fibers related with the intrinsic fibers or intrinsic tail have a relation with cementoblasts. Okay? And the intrinsic fibers generally present in the structure of secondary cementum. What is the extrinsic fibers? The extrinsic fibers, again, is our fibers which present in the cementum. But the cells which produce these fibers is different from the intrinsic fibers. Extrinsic fibers produced with fibroblast cells. Fibroblast cells related with periodontal ligament. That fibroblast cells produce extrinsic fibers. Okay? Now you know we have the cellular and acellular cementum, intrinsic and extrinsic fibers. Generally, in the structure of acellular cementum, we have extrinsic fibers. Fibers which come from the fibroblasts, related with acellular cementum. Why? Because here we don't have the cementoblasts and cementocytes. So the fibers in this part can come from the fibroblasts. But the cellular cementum generally have intrinsic fibers. So the complete name of the cementum in different parts is acellular extrinsic fiber cementum or cellular with intrinsic fiber cementum. Okay? You should know the differences between the acellular and cellular cementum and acellular extrinsic fibers of cementum and cellular intrinsic fiber of cementum. Okay? We will talk about the differences. Can you understand these things? The meaning of extrinsic and intrinsic fibers? Do you have questions from this part? Now you can understand the differences between the primary and secondary cementum and you know the intermediate cementum. Okay? Now we are going to talk about the slide. One more thing. In the structure of cementum, like bone, as you know, we have cementoblast, like osteoblast, and cementocytes, like osteocytes. And the cementoblast, like osteoblast, produce the not mineralized structure known as the cementoid. Remember the osteoid? Remember the predentin? Not mineralized structure. Cementoid in this part. After mineralization, that cemento is changed into the cement. And cells which surround with the cement structure, the name of that cell is changed into the cementocyte from cementocyte. Okay? Can you understand this part? But we have a little differences between the bone and cemento. What is that differences? Very, very, very important differences. To understand these differences, you should know the role of the cemento or the function of the cemento. What do you think about the function of cemento? What? Covering the dentin structures and also apical foramen of palm. Remember our previous lecture? We talked about the cementum which cover the apical foramen. That cementum prevent to exit the dental fluid. What is the other role? Okay, the first role is covering the surface of dentin. The other role, attachment, help to attach our teeth to alveolar bone with connecting the fibers. We will talk about that fibers. As you know, our dentin have dentinal fluid, and in that part we have the nerves, and our teeth can give the pain sense from that part. Now, think about the nerve fibers and blood vessels in the cementum. In the structure of cementum, if we have blood vessel or nerve fiber, our cementum can be high sensitive, and the pain also can transduce from this part. What do you think? Can we have the nerve fibers in the surface of cementum? No. Can we have blood vessels in the structure of cementum? If you say no, okay, can you explain me the nutrition of cementum? In bone structure, we have high amount of blood vessels, and nutrition occur with that blood vessels. But here, if you say we don't have blood vessels in the structure of cementum, you should describe the nutrition of the cementum.
Maybe periodontal ligament that touch the cementum to the alveolar bone.
Okay, how occur with periodontal ligaments?
Periodontal ligament is attached to the alveolar bone, and the alveolar bone has high amount of blood vessels.
Okay, but how this nutrition can reach to the cementum? Cementum have a hard structure. You can see the diffusion in that structure. But you're right. In the structure of cementum, we don't have blood vessels and nerve fibers. And these features help you to protect our teeth from outside pain. When you work on the cementum structure from outside, from periodontal ligament, this feature help you to easily work without a high amount of anesthesia, because the cementum don't have it. Okay? But the nutrition of cementum, in contrast with bone, occur from the periodontal ligament. But how? In the structure of cementum, the cementocytes, like osteocytes, have extensions. These extensions lie into the canaliculus structure, like bone, and connect with neighbor cementocytes. And the cementocytes which present in the outer side of the cementum, near to the periodontal ligament, can reach or give nourishment and transfer this nutrient into the inner side osteocytes, or cementocytes, okay? It's very important. Hücreler kemikte olduğu gibi osteosaytları hatırla. Uzantıları vardı değil mi? Nereye doğru uzanıyorlardı? Kanalikullerin içinde. Ve diğerleriyle bağlantı kuruyorlar. Burada da öyle bir yapımız var. Ve bu bağlantılar sayesinde dışta periodontal ligamente yakın olan hücreler besin maddelerini alıyor, içteki hücreleri iletiyor. O kanalikuller sayesinde. Oldu mu? Bir şey. In the structure of cementum, like bone, we have a special set known as the cementoclast. In some references, that cell name is not say cementoclast. They say this cell is osteoclast. And like bone structure, the osteoclast in this part can resorb the cement structure. Okay? But this resorption is rarely occur, not continuously occur like the bone structure. We will talk about that. Okay, let me continue with the slides, and I will teach you some structures or some things which I forgot to teach.
So,
Yes.
we took in the second slide of the example, we took those last slides. There was like things in cementum, and there was thick cementum. Not thick cementum nearby the upper blood, and thick cementum nearby the cementum.
Because the cementum thicknesses increase in the root side, and in that side we have generally secondary cementum. Okay, because of that, that part is very thick than the cervical. Okay, we talked about these parts, the pain transduction structure and other things. We talked about development of cementum. You know the cementum development. The primarily developed cementum form this intermediate cementum in this part, come from the hair-tree membrane or epithelial diaphragm cells, and in the outer side we have normal structure of cementum, generally secondary cementum, and you can see the cementocytes in the inner side and cementoblast in the outer side. Okay, what is these structures? Or what is these structures? What? These structures is our collagen fibers. We talked about the role of the cementum related with connecting our teeth with alveolar bone. But as you know, cementum and bone have hard structure, and fibers can't invaginate into this hard structure. How these fibers can attach to the structure of cementum? Firstly, you should know, these fibers produced with the fibroblasts. And during the cementum formation, these fibers, like this, produced to this part. Before mineralization, fibers completely form in the area of cementum. After mineralization, these fibers completely attach with the cementum structure, and we can't detach this fiber from the structure of cementum. But we have specialty. These fibers not completely mineralized, because if these fibers completely mineralize, the other fibers can't attach to these fibers. We need to low mineralization in this part, and with this low mineralization, The other fibers which produce again with fibroblasts can attach to these fibers, and from other side, for example in this part, fibers connected with bone structure. And these fibers known as the periodontal ligament fibers. Okay? Can you understand the fibers of periodontal ligament? Now, do you hear the terms of Sharpey fibers? Do you know the Sharpey fibers? Sharpey fibers is other fibers, only the structure of our fibers, which present in the cementum and in other side present in the structure of bone. That part is known as the Sharpey fibers. And the structure which present between the bone and cementum known as the periodontal ligament fibers. Okay? Now here you can see the structure of cellular and acellular cementum. I talked about these parts. You can read this part for yourself. Again, here you can see our odontoblast, cementum, and in this part you can see newly formed cement. Here you can see our cementoblasts, and after covering completely with cement structure, change it into the cementocyte. And in this part we have periodontal ligament. We have three different types of the cement, enamel, and dentin interaction area. Sometimes our cementum a little overlapped the enamel. In 60% or 65% of humans, we have this structure, cementum, a little overlap the enamel. Sometimes, in 30%, we have edge-to-edge structure. And in this structure, cementum completely connect with the enamel, but not overlap. But sometimes, we have a gap between the cementum and enamel. This gap can occur with pain sense. In this part, you can see the pain because the surface of dentin not closed. In 5 to 10% of humans, you can see this type of the enamel and cementum interaction. This schema known as the OMG or overlap, meet, and gap structure. The percentage of OMG is different. Okay? Sometimes you can see the overlap, sometimes you can see the edge to edge, and sometimes you can see the gap. Don't forget the OMG term. And again, you can see this percentage in this part. What is the intermediate cementum? Only in one sentence. The cementum which produce before the hair-fin membrane disrupt and produce it from the hair-fin membrane cells. This is our intermediate cementum. After formation of this cementum, our normal cementoblasts come to this area and produce cementum, primary cementum and secondary cementum. The intermediate cementum produced from the hair-fin membrane cell, but the primary and secondary cementum produced from the cementoblast. Now your mind is confused. What is the primary cementum and intermediate cementum? As you can remember, I tell you